Good morning, welcome back my lovely YouTube people, YouTube followers. Thank you for all the followers that have followed me so far, and this morning we are back again with the second episode of Lancashire's best autumn walks to do this autumn in Lancashire. Now today I have come to a personal favourite of mine, which all these walks are. It's Roddlesworth Reservoirs walk, which will be Upper Roddlesworth Reservoir, pardon me, and Lower Roddlesworth Reservoir, if I can get my words out. And just before we start, I thought I'd show you where I am, because this is where I like to start. There's loads of routes around here to do, but I've come off the motorway, the 65, and depending on where you're coming from, down or up I suppose, or left or east or west, you'd drop down the first junction of the M61, or I guess the last one before you get to the M61, and you'd either drop down and take your first left if you're coming from the east, and head up towards the sign that says Bolton and Abbey Village, I think. Or if you've come off the M6, M61, M65, you take your first junction and go around and take your third exit up towards Abbey Village. And then once you get into there, you come right to the top of the village to a pub called Hare and Hounds, which I'm going to show you in a minute because it's just there. And even though you have got a car park there, it is for the pub, not to just park there and walk. So I've parked here just as you get to the pub, to turn right. And this is where I am, so let me flip the camera around and show you. Yeah, nice. Well, I say quiet, it's quite a busy road. Lovely view to start with. So that's that way. This is where we are. And just straight in front of us here, I'll just walk up to the road because there's a lady. This building right at the front of us is Hare and Hounds, which we're going to head up to now once I check the car's locked, which it is. So once we get to the Hare and Hounds, or to the main road, we're going to head off to the right, and then our walk is just in the corner over here, or the start of our walk is. It's about 3.5 miles. Some great views. There are people parked over there because there's a car park. I have parked there before, but normally when I've done this walk, I've done the walk at like 7 o'clock in the morning and got back by 10:30, 11 before the pub's even open. It's a bit later in the day now, but there is a sign that does say car park for customers only. So show you. So this is Abbey Village, this is where I've come up from. It's quite a busy road, as you can see. Housing over there, so I don't know if, even though it doesn't say that you can't park there, I don't think anybody particularly likes parking outside of the house. This is where we're heading. Yeah, the pub's right here. I've come up and I've turned right, just right here at this little shelter, and then I've just parked up the road there, which is literally just up the road. You can tell by the traffic going down, it is a busy road. And in the corner of the car park there is where our walk starts. And there's a pub there, so once you get back, there's a round robin, like all my walks are. Just cross over the road. So once you've finished the walk, you can come back and stop for a spot of lunch or a bit of dinner, depending on the time of day, or maybe a well-earned pint. And once you get over the road, pub's right behind me. I'm just walking through the car park now. There are a few cars in here. I don't know if this is people on the walk or if it's staff members. So yeah, just for the purposes of this video, I mean, it's up to you whether you park there or not. but I don't want you coming here and then parking there and getting in trouble and then saying, well, on that YouTube video I watched, he said we could park there. I wouldn't recommend it, as it is the pub car park, so to be safer, just over there is where you park. It does get busy at the weekend because it is a popular walk with dog walkers. Oh, I've got to get run over. So come through the car park, pub's there right behind me, to the corner of the car park, and when you get to the corner of the car park, this is what you'll be greeted with, and this is where the walk starts. We're going to head straight down there. Just at the top of the hill, I don't know if you can see it or not, is Darwin Tower, and there's a sign, Roddlesworth. So it's a straight shot down. I'm going to walk up a bit and then I'll put your camera back on once I get to the first reservoir, which is why I choose to do this route, because, hello, I'm over here, camera, there we go. Because there are 3 reservoirs. You go around, well, you go past 3 reservoirs. You do the loop of the 2, upper and lower Roddlesworth Reservoir, but you do get the third one in going this way. There is a cafe that you can park at, which is like a customer information centre, a bit like last week when we went to Loon, and it has a cafe there and whatnot. You can park there. I think it is paid, don't hold me to that, because I normally park here because I like to do this route and get the third reservoir in. Parking at the other end, you can just do the 2 reservoirs and then head back up there, but when I get to the first reservoir, switch it back on, show you what I mean. Once you're on this path, it's just a straight shot. I've not got my microphone on yet because the wind isn't that bad, but if the audio changes, I apologise, because of I'll have to put my mic on under here because it can be quite windy. It has give strong wind today, but not too bad at the minute. Right. So just stick with this path, you can't really go wrong. It's pretty self-explanatory, and then I'll get back to you when we get to the first reservoir. So I've come up to the first reservoir, which is Rakebrook Reservoir, I believe. Pardon if I'm saying these names wrong, so I've never been good with the talking and the spelling, if you haven't noticed. The words they just come out mumbled. I'm not good with the speaking side. Nevertheless, I'm going to flip the camera around to show you. I've not put my microphone on yet, even though we might get a bit of wind noise because we are in a bit of a cross breeze area, but once we get further up and into the wooded area, it might not be as windy. But I'm not bothered with the microphone because I don't think the audio on the microphone, especially under here, is good as what it is just on the camera. Right, flip me around and show you first reservoir. There we go, look at that. It's not the biggest, not the smallest. Already you can see the colours in the trees here starting to turn. We're going to get a better view of that soon. This is where we've come from. It's just a straight shot on the path, and we do get a good view. We're quite high up at this point towards Blackburn, Darwin area. It's more over that way, but as you can tell by the height, that's why we're getting the wind. It's just shooting straight across there, the wind straight behind me. So apologies for the wind sound at the minute, but like I said, just up around this corner now, it should die off, the wind, hopefully, and it will be better audio quality. I've put my tracker on. I didn't realise until I got here. I put a tracker on just so at the end of the video, especially doing these walks out there, I can put the route on at the end, and then if you stuck around to the end and you're interested in doing the route, obviously you must be if you stuck around to the end, I'll just show you the route that we actually walked, even though I do try to explain them the best that I can in these videos, just give you a better idea of the route we've took, so then you can. But the route will start from this first reservoir, but you do walk back this way. It's the same, this sort of bit here is the same way in, same way out, so I will leave the tracker on right back till I get to the car, so that bit will be the same as when you get here. And we're just heading up now around the reservoir. There's a house just up here once you get to it. So when you come up to this house here, you have one or two options. Flip the camera around and show you. There we are, we're at the house now. There is a left turning that you can take. As you can see, that leads down there. And just at the bottom is where the path continues. If you don't like the looks of it, because it is stone steps and a narrow path, you can just continue straight on. This will take you around the house and then back. Well, this is staying on the path, the other one cuts off, but just cuts off this corner bit here and joins back on with it. So they both will take you to the same spot. It's just whether you want to do this extra corner bit or not. When you stay on this part, it is still a tarmacked road, if you will. You have to be careful. You don't see them often, but there are cars on the road. Point proven here. So it's not often, but you will get vehicles on this bit of the road. It doesn't matter because we're coming off it now, just up here. So I'll show you, we've just walked around the house. There you go. We could have gone down there, we just went around instead, and then this is the way the path goes. So if you cut the path, you just carry on straight over. Morning. And if you walk around the house like we did, then you just hook a right, where I just showed you. Don't want to be going straight on, and I think on a weekend, if you do come on a weekend, that gate might be shut, so you have to turn right. But yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Over a little bridge, stick on this path. The water's flowing nicely today. Nice flow of water there. So water runs off the reservoirs. Over the bridge. Follow the yellow brick road, as they say in Wizard of Oz. So go over that bridge and just follow the path. You can't really deviate off it. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then when we come to the start of the show, which is at the end of this path, I'll switch the camera back on and further instructions will follow. With that path, which is just right behind me, can't really see because of the face tracker, but it's here. It brings you, just stick with it straight as you can. That guy's walking down, you'll come to here. We're going to go off to the left, come out to the right. There's a bench right in front of us that I'm stood behind, and this right here, stood at this bench, is why this is one of Lancashire's best walks to do, not only all year round. You can see how popular it is. It's early morning, it's also a Friday, and there's a lot of people here, but not only one of Lancashire's best walk to do, or most popular walks to do, especially around here, but this is why it's one of the best autumn walks to do, because of this view. Look at it. If I can turn the camera around, Now that is something you would expect to see in a Bob Ross painting. And all along, so this is the path we're going to take through the woods, but as you'll see with the zooming in, the colours, they're just all starting to come out now. Slowly pan that around for you. We'll put a magnifying glass on that as well. And just at the top there is Darwin Tower at the top of the hill. We are not going up there today, but what a view, and I'm glad I came to do this one today. As you can see there, I put a magnifying glass on it like I did on the last video, just to make it zoom in so you can see a bit better. But you just get in the turning of the seasons, just getting the colour in the trees there. Just see the yellows and the browns, bit of a red over there, just all coming out. It's a proper autumn morning where it's not raining, the wind isn't that bad, but there is a bit of a nip in the air. It's just a bit dull, a bit overcast, but just what you expect from a autumn's morning, and it's perfect, absolutely perfect. Now I am going to go and get a couple of pictures of that. I'll need one for the thumbnail and Facebook obviously, but before I do that, just to keep you updated, let's see if I do a better job this time of flipping the camera around and showing you. There we go. So as I was saying, this is the path we've come up, this is where we're going to end up. But as you just come up here, you follow it around to the left, and we're going straight along there, straight down into the reservoir, and then once you get there it's going to go around to the right, and then the rest of the walk is going to be in this tree line. So we should get a lot of good shots there with the trees through Roddlesworth Woods, and then you can't see it because it's lower. Well, just beyond that tree line is the other reservoir that we're going to drop down to. So yeah. So for now, so I'm going to grab a picture for Facebook and YouTube, obviously. Best picture in the house for the thumbnail. And then I'm going to continue straight along here, and I'm going to go into the woods, and I'm going to hook a right. I've still got my tracker on, even though it's going to say I'm longer walking than I actually am, because I've been stood around here. I can't be bothered to pause it and play it every time I stop, so I'll just leave it running. So at the end of it, if the parts that I've not filmed, you'll still see the route on the tracker, but essentially just walk down there after, grab some photos around to the round, just follow the path. It is pretty explanatory. The path is like this, it is a bit wet in places, but it is a path, no muddy parts yet, so it should be alright on your feet. Right, pictures and then walking. We've come to a fork in the road. So like I said, I went into the woods, I followed the path. You just stay on the path, it doesn't really branch off or lead anywhere, there's only one path to follow until you come to this section here that I'm going to show you, which is at a fork in the road. Oh no, what do we do? Well, when you come here you can go to the left and go up, or you can go to the right and go down. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. Dog's sneaking up on me. When you get to this point, it doesn't matter which way you go, whether you go left and go up or go to the right and go down, because they both lead back to the same place. They will both join back up, back onto one path. I would say if you go up, it would be a drier path as water runs downhill, and it is a proper path. I always go down, especially on a nice day, it's nice to go down I was debating whether to go down or not, just because of the rainfall. It is quite muddy in places. There's quite a few puddles. Even on this path here, it's been quite muddy. So when you come in the winter time, make sure you're not wearing white trainers. They're going to get knackered or muddy. You have to clean them when you get home. But as you can tell, I'm going to the right, and the reason I am going to the right today, even though I did plan on going left and staying on the top path, is that because this is the best autumn walks to do. This will take us up the side of the reservoir, right near the reservoir, and when we look over to the other side, we should get a good view of the tree line in all the autumn colours. Whereas if you go up and stay in the wooded area, I don't think you're going to get that as much. So for now, we're going to stick to the bottom path for today, and we're going to go up the side of the reservoir, and we're going to look over to the other side, which is eventually where we'll end up, and we should just get a good view of the trees in the autumn colours from this bottom path. So onwards we go. Now we've come to the bottom of that path. It is a lot brighter. You're greeted with a gate in front of you, which I'm going to show you. Just not mistaken to, even though I don't think you can go this way, not to go over the reservoir. You want to be heading through that gate there. So I'll just flip your camera around and show you. So there is a gate there that does say no public access. This is the second reservoir that we are at now. I believe before I said this is the lower reservoir, which was wrong. Follow the path down, come to the gate. You want to go through the gate, which is just here. We'll just wait for this person to get through, and that is the reservoir right there. So before, I think I was getting myself confused. I apologise. When I said this was the lower one, this is the higher one, and the one we was at was at the lower one. I was just getting mixed up. There's somebody here that I'm waiting to get through, but I don't know if they're coming through or not. So we're going to head through the gate, and then we're going to, once we're through the gate, follow the path that will go around the bottom end, around that corner. Once we get further up there, I shall show you. So once you've gone through the gate, follow the path down and around. Just come into a wooded area, which might be hard to follow for some. Been here a few times now, so I sort of know which way I'm going. But there are signs up, as I'll show you in a second. I just want to show you the path and what I mean. So this is the path. You can sort of see the way that it goes, but there are little signs that they put up here to just let you know that you are going the right way. Be careful on the foot, especially this time of year. So there's a lot of these tree roots that can be slippy, so be careful when walking around here. But it is a very adventurous route this way, but you can sort of see the way that it is heading. And now we've come, now we've come to a gap. Show you the view from here. So we will end up on the other side of this reservoir, over there, looking back on this side by them fishing boats. But especially over there, you are getting a lot of the colours coming through. Still a lot of green. There is still a lot of green, but I want to get these videos done before we lose all the colour and go into the winter months properly, as I do plan on doing a series of 5 videos. I didn't want to wait later in the year pardon me, because the first video you'd get great colours, maybe the first 2 or 3, but then by the time you get to the end I didn't want all that colour to be gone while I'm doing best autumn walks to do, and obviously I want to get these videos out there so then you can watch them and do them whilst the colour's still in the tree. Obviously I don't want you to turn up maybe mid to end of November and then all the leaves are gone and you're like, come here, and you've not seen anything on best autumn walk. So there is still a lot of colour, a lot of green left. You can see the colour changing though. So yeah, that's, if you're looking at these videos you're thinking I'm hardly seeing any colours. When you come there will be, because they're starting to change now. But as I was saying, with this bottom path being boggy, before I leave you, I'm just going to show you that if you do come down this bottom path, which it is nice with that view there to walk alongside the reservoir, there is a bit of a obstacle, like these big old muddy puddles as you can see everywhere. So if you're not wearing proper walking boots, it can be slippy, and if you are wearing proper walking boots, be prepared to get them dirty. I'm going to put my camera away now for this next challenge, and you just stick with this path. Like I said, I've got the signs hanging up. It's pretty self-explanatory, and this should bring us back out onto the proper road, or the proper path we was taking before we journeyed off down here. So wish me luck. So if you don't want to take that bottom path, which I don't blame you, if you've just come to the end of it now, and this is why I wouldn't blame you. Just as I was saying before, we're just going uphill now, and it's just full of these tree roots that are, or can be slippy. Just take care, when walking up there. But once, if you do take the bottom path, you just follow it up, as you see where we've just come from, it just curves around to the left and it chucks you out here. You would come back to the proper path, and if you'd gone left where we went right, you'd be coming down there now, back on the proper path, after being up top to the bridge, where we're going to continue straight on and presented by another great view. We've just crossed over a bridge, which is a little bit of a waterfall behind us. The water running into the reservoir, as you can hear. That sun's just shining. Go over to the other side and see if we can get the sunshine. Sun coming through the trees there. Just where the light's hitting there. The sun is just coming through, just striking that tree there. So I am going to continue on straight up there, and again, just like before, stick with the path, and it will go around to the right, where we will come to a bit of a junction, but I'll put the camera back on for that, because the path then goes straight on left, right, or whichever ways. It's quite a popular area, which is where a lot of people that park at the cafe, that's where it chuck you out just further up here. It's about the halfway point as well, because we'll be around both reservoirs and then heading back to the other side to do the other side of the walk. So off we go. So I don't know if you can see this just behind me because there's a face track on. Where that bridge is, there's a path that comes down. It's like a path that goes up. You don't want to be on that path, but if you're walking the way that I've walked, it would come down to join on it. So to get on that path, you'd have to sort of do a 360 on yourself. Do not do that. And if you're going this way, stick to the lower path if you're doing it in reverse. If you're doing this route anyway, you don't want to go on that upper path, as it takes you, I believe, I've never walked it, but up to the road, and you can access Darwin Tower or a route to Darwin Tower from that path. We're not doing that today, but we have come to the junction that I was telling you about. So you just stick with the path. That one will join onto this one. You go down the hill, and then we're going to go back up the hill again. And as we go back up this hill where the fence line is, this fence line here is going to go off to the right, which is where we want to go, which is going to take us down there. So if you walked up here and you got to this section, we want to go down this little path to the right, as there are plenty of other paths to take straight on, and the path from the left is if people that are up at the cafe that I was telling you about, the information visitor centre, sort of brings you out here. But for the purposes of this route and this video, so we've come up here, we're going to head this way down this small path. It's going to take us to the bottom of the reservoir. So it's just up on the main path. The main path, it does look like the main path goes straight over, which the way the people have walked have gone. But this is the route that me and Samantha have always done, even though she's not with me today. I'm flying solo, and it's always been a good route to do. A nice round robin at about 3.5 miles, I think. So you stick to this route. You probably could stay on the main path and it would bring you maybe back into the same location. I've never done it. Maybe one day I will. It's just, you know, when we come here, this is the route we do. This is the route we like to do. This does go a bit of a downhill now, and it is a bit boggy by the looks of it. So if you are coming here, you're not too clever on your feet, or you don't want to go this way, you like to stick to the main path more, just do a bit of research. But if you like this route, then yeah, go for it. It's a good route to do, but it does get a bit adventurous, like on the other side. If I just flip you around and show you, as you can see here, there is a path there. It is a bit muddy. Like I said, we have just had a lot of rain in the last few days. So once you follow the path down, you're greeted with this view. There's a bench there for sitting on. So we're going to make our way down there. It's quite steep. The path sort of goes this way. Just be careful if you're footing down here. Make our way down to this bench, and then once you are there, you will be greeted, oh, big step, with this view. Can be a bit windy here because obviously it's like the wind's blowing this way, but next to a body of water. And along here, if you get seated on the bench, maybe on a bit less of a breezier day, but again, you'll get the tree line with all the colours under the sun: yellows, reds, browns. Still quite a lot of it with the greens at the minute, but I explained that before. I have to do these videos a bit earlier, but they are just starting to come out, especially this guy here. Definitely got a lot of yellow in him. Just a hint of brown over here as well. And, sun's coming down behind me, so that's the bench. So what you want to do is, once you've got to the bench, you want to go off to the left this way. So I'm looking at that view, off to the left, which just follow the fence line along, and if we follow the fence line, stick with that fence line, follow it along, and then it should bring you back onto the path to save you walking back up that bit of a hill. So just come to this part here, you should be able to see the main path easily then, but I'll just show you. So that's the fence line. The main path is just here. So the main path does run along the top, but if you want to go down to the bench to get that view, it is a bit further down. Just follow the fence line a few hundred yards, but don't stay with the fence line all the way along, but you should be able to make it out quite easily enough. As you see just behind me is the proper path there. So once you get here, just make sure you detour off up onto that main path, just which they're going there just by this tree. Like I said, alternatively, if you didn't want to go and sit on the bench, the main path does run along here straight off the way that they run it, walking, sorry. So if you used to get here where we went straight onto the bench, just follow the path around to the left. Personally, what I recommend is that when you get down here, just for that view alone, it is worth to just take 5 minutes, especially if the bench is free. Sit down, grab a drink of water, hydrate, appreciate the view, and just have 5 minutes, especially when them colours come out. Oh, morning.
Hi.
Especially when them colours come out, and it's well worth it. So we're going to continue on this main path now. That should bring us up the side of a little river. So once you follow that main path, just follow your nose, as they say, up the side of the river. You'll come to a bridge which I am currently stood on. I'm going to show you now. There you go, look at that. It's falling right underneath me. Off that way. Just along here is the way you'll walk down. There's the path onto the bridge. And we are going to follow the path up and then around to the right. I'll show you what I mean, because the path does split off here. I just don't want you going the wrong way. So it is nice. That river is just running, as you can hear it now, all the way from up there. In fact, if I take a knee, flip the camera around, and you'll just see it running down along here in front of us. So it's nice. And then follow the path up. The sun's glistening through the trees, so it's a little bit of a nip in the air still, hence why I've got my beanie hat on, but the sun has come out, so it's nice. And just follow this path up around to the right, and it takes you straight on. So that's just down there is where we've just come from. I can't really show you without flipping the camera around too much, because it's got the face tracker on, so I'll try to show you something behind me. The camera just follows my face, but it's fairly straightforward. Again, I still do have my GPS route running, so I'll put that on just before the end of the video and show you on that. But we're going to just head up here now, and we are on the other side of the reservoir with crossing the bridge there. we've crossed over, we've come around to the other side. So I'm just going to walk up here and show you, because this path comes out onto the road, and even though you will see it on the GPS, it is a right turn when you get to this point here, which is just up ahead. It might be a bit confusing. As you come out the wooded area, turn right, and that's the way we want to be heading, off to the right. There is a path behind us, proper path, nice big wide path now, non-muddy on the feet. If you was coming from this direction, instead of going straight up, which there is another route up there, is another walk, you would head off on that little trail into the woods to cross over the river, which we've just done. You come out there, turn right, and then it's a straight shot, and again you just stick with the path. It might go into hello again, a wooded area. People keep lapping me, I'm taking my time filming. It goes back into a wooded area, but you just stick with the path. You just keep following it until the point where we have to turn off again. But as always, I'll be here to guide you through that experience and show you which way you're going to go. And if you're stuck around to the end, you can just pause the video and look on the GPS. So we go through the wooded area, come to a gate, go straight through the gate where the paddle boats were, what I showed you before, which is straight behind me. You come down a road, opposite a field, and then can be quite confusing, but I'm here to give you the ultimate tour guide. I'm going to walk you through it. Come to the end of this road, you want to go left, you want to go right. Nearly sent you the wrong way after saying you got the ultimate guide experience. Sorry, the road goes off to the left, you want to go right. So that's where you've come down along the wall, get to here, which is a bit of a triangle, go right towards the fence. And I noticed some people have been confused before and headed down that way. Now you might be able to go down that way, don't hold me to it, as there are all these public footpath signs along this fence, you can see, and just there telling you to head down there. The way you want to go is to this fence line. We've got a little sign here for the Lancashire way, and in the fence line there is a path. This is the path you want to be on, not that road. The road is for vehicles and it runs straight down for vehicle access down to the reservoir. You want the path. This is what it looks like, and we are on the opposite side of that fence. Just come from over there, so head to this corner down the path. You might be able to go down that road and it might lead you over to the other side, cutting across the reservoirs. We're coming to the top of the other one now. We've just finished that one. I don't know, I've never been down there, so don't hold me to it. It's possible, and then again I have seen people walk down there and then walk back up. I don't know if it's a dead end or not, but for the route that we're doing and for the route of the both reservoirs, get to the corner of that, get on this path, and then it'll hook around to the left, not far from where we've come in from, which is there. Sorry, I can't, I'll just flip the camera around and show you. It's hard with the face track on. So we've just come in from there. We'll hook around to the left, and then it's a straight run, and when we get to the bottom there'll be either a gate or a stone wall, I think, that you cut through, and then we will be on the opposite side of the first reservoir we did, and on our way back to where we started with that fantastic view. So just make sure you get on this path. Like I said, you'll know you're on the right path, because once you get around this corner, it's just a long straight path with a load of trees. There's a canopy, and just head down it, and once you're on this path, it's pretty self-explanatory. You can't really deviate off it. It's just that part can be confusing for people because of all the arrows on the other fence line pointing you down the road, which is off down that way, and you want to be going this way. So just make sure you get on this side of the fence line and follow this path straight down, which will eventually now bring us back to, like I said, bring us out along where we started pretty much, and you can't deviate off this path. So I'm going to stick with it, and then once we're near where we started, switch the camera on, because my battery seems to be draining quite fastly now. Alright, onwards and upwards, as they say. So it was a stone wall you go through, not a gate, but once through it you stick with the path, and it is a narrow path. It's not narrow, it's enough for getting past people, but just stick with the path. As you can see there, and them two are on. So that's the path we've just come down along the side of the reservoir. It's the exact same path. Once you go over the fence and you're on that straight bit, it's the exact same path. You just follow it all the way up. You come to a bridge, you can't go any further, so you have to, at this point, turn right over the bridge, which we are going to do. There is a sign there saying no access to the public. This is the bridge here. I'm just gonna quickly cross the bridge. I'll show you the view while we're here, which is there. And on this side we're back, which is the bench where we started this morning. So we come out here. Now we are at this location. What we want to do is hook a left, which is the way we came down this morning. So we've come down, we've got to the bench with the view, and just like these gentlemen in front of me when we started it earlier this morning, that's the way we headed off up there. So we've been all down and around, and we've just come along there. Behind that tree line there's a path over the bridge. So once you're over the bridge, it's a left, and we're heading back up there. So you just follow that path straight on over the bridge, and then once you've gone over the bridge, you can either go straight on up this little path here. Bridge is just there, straight on up there, or you can turn left, go around the house on this path here, but both lead to the same location. This just cuts off that corner. But yeah, after turning left, just you can't go off it, it will chuck you onto that bridge, and it's either straight on or left turning at that point. And just there is the pub where we started. So this last little stretch now, just over here is where I switched the GPS on, but I will keep it on for that last little bit. And we're back at the top reservoir. I forgot what it's called now. Rake Reservoir, Rake, I don't know, forgive me, I've forgotten already. So this last bit, you can't go anywhere. You just stick to the path, and it will chuck you out at the pub, whether you've parked on the main road or near the pub, or you're going to the pub for a well-earned pint. after this, it's up to you. But yeah, I'm going to chuck that GPS route up right now, so just before the end of the video you can have a quick look and see the route that I've done today. As a picture paints 1,000 words, but I tried to explain it best that I can in this video so you wouldn't get lost. But I guess that seeing the GPS route would help a lot as well. So here we go. So that was upper and lower Roddlesworth Reservoirs. Pub's just behind me. Hare and Hounds. I'm not going into the pub, even though it is open. It's just after midday. I hope you've enjoyed that walk. It is a fantastic autumn walk to do. As you can tell with all the trees around and the variety in, you have a sort of a reservoir walk there with the water, and then you're going into the woods and all the leaves falling. And at one point, that main focus point, it will be like looking at a Bob Ross painting, especially when them colours come out more. So a disclaimer, and I probably should put this in the comments or in the description, but I should have said it at the start of the movie. These videos are filmed, like I said, earlier than what it is when you're probably watching it. So it is still September now, granted the back end, and the seasons are definitely changing. But when you watch this, it'll be October. And because it's a series, I'm trying to film other videos, so I have to stack them, and hopefully the last video should line up with that weekend, so I'll post it and that will be the weekend it is. But if you're watching this in October, middle of October, or maybe it's just a bit later you've come across it, and you're thinking, oh, the trees are still very green and there's not that much colour in them, don't. It will be at least a couple of weeks before you're watching this video, so there'll definitely be a lot more colour in them trees. And if you're thinking, well, we'll hang fire a bit because there's still a lot of green in the trees, no, I have filmed it a lot earlier, because like I said, I have to start the video, so the last video I do, episode 5, should be right for that time of year, and I'll put that up as when they're needed. But again, my battery's just about to die. I've made it back to the car. Hope you've enjoyed the walk. It's just after midday, about 12:30. Let's get that view behind me. 3.5 miles, I believe, for that walk. The tracker might say it's a bit longer, even though it won't be. I've just kept it running. There you go, I need to stop it. The tracker will say it's a bit longer, but I didn't want to pause it and then play it and then pause it and play. I just kept it running the whole time. So depending on your skill level, about an hour and a half it would take you to do that route. If you're not messing around, obviously I take a bit longer photos, social media, getting the camera out, filming this, so it will take me a bit longer. So about an hour and a half it should take you. Unless you just want to enjoy it and go at a slower rate, or you've got toddlers with you, that might go a bit slower. But it's a great walk to do any time of the year, especially this time of the year, August, with all the colours. And it's also nice to do, even though a bit dangerous on a cold winter's frosty morning, you know, when the sun's shining but there's a nip in the air. And it's also nice when the water's still as well. Well, that will do it for today. Thank you again for following me and watching my content. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. It means I'm not just doing it because I like the sound of my own voice or for no reason. That people are out there watching the videos, they're interested in the comment, they want to know about the walks, they want to see me do these walks, and they probably, after watching the video, hopefully will do the walks themselves, whether they've done it before or it's the first time. It does mean a lot. So thank you for everybody for your support and continued support. Until next time, we will be doing another autumn walk, because I'm trying to just push them episodes out now. I will see you on the next video. There's a lot of traffic going by, the camera's about to die, so I'll see you on the next video. And again, thank you for everyone following me and continue to follow me. That will do it for today. See you in the next one. Bye.